I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is the Doctor's Guide podcast, Raw and Unfiltered, with my two amazing guests, Esmee Kollenc and Elysee Howard. And Esmee is an incredible, intuitive, holistic trainer and coach. And we have Elyse, who herself is an integrative transformational specialist. And so for today, I'm really excited to bring to you the insights and the action steps that you can begin to take in order to make better decisions for yourself. And so why is this show so different than everybody else's? Well, most shows are actually promoting a product or a service or just telling you follow these directions. The challenge is that, maybe some of this information is so relevant and accurate, but it might not be right for you. And so that's where you need to have a better decision-making process so that you can acquire the discernment to make sure it's right. Because before you know it, when you get all this hype and, as I fall prey to it sometimes myself, when I see these amazing products that are going to absolutely change my cardiovascular system or my brain or something else, and then spend all the money and diddly squat actually happens. And so how can we overcome that problem? Well, simply this is to figure out what is the best decision-making process for you. Now, I don't know you personally, but the truth of the matter is how we go through this decision-making process is pretty much universal. And so we capture that in some very fun and engaging role playing so that you can actually witness yourself in that journey and then make a determination of, oh, okay, well, that's how this works. And so the idea here today is that my two guests, one will be presenting with a problem and the other will be acting as a guide. And within a very short period of time, we'll get some sort of resolution, or at least directed to some sort of resolution. Clearly, 6 minutes is not a lot of time to solve these problems, as we've noticed before. I mean, sometimes we have to hang out with this person for at least an hour before we can actually figure it out. But the point of the matter is my hope is that you get to witness yourself. You may get triggered. You may actually think, well, this is silly, or you may disagree with it, but therein lies the answer. Because if there's some internal dissonance, that's actually a message from the deep, as I like to put it, that says, you better pay attention, because there may be an opportunity for you to make better decisions about your health. Because when we feel uncomfortable about something, that's time to really pay attention. So for today, as I introduce both Elyse and Esmee, we'll go into the role play for about 6 minutes, then we'll unpack it for another 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll share their contact information as well. So Elysee Howard, so you're an integrative transformational specialist. That's a mouthful, pretty spectacular what your background is, but most importantly is the pain to purpose. You figured out, you had your own challenges and you figured out how to overcome them. So becoming the victor after being the victim. Please introduce anything else that you want people to know about you, maybe even a brief explanation of what is it that you actually do.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bart, for having me on. So yes, an integrative transformational specialist came about because I've been a massage therapist, a medical massage practitioner, a personal trainer, a rehabilitative specialist, and a certified pain practitioner for 13 years. Within those 13 years of practicing and over 48,000 hours of hands-on work, you find that not one thing is for everyone. So the integrative part is integrating your transformation, the individual's, the patient's transformation, and specializing in how to make it very easy and turn it into a lifestyle instead of a set amount of days. So I would just love to give the message and the relay of, I can relate with all of you that have lived in pain and that have been the patient and not received the answers that you're looking for. And when we have some answers and solutions, it just makes things so much easier to actually obtain and stay consistent with.
And I love the fact that you unify all the different parts, because there's never one thing that's going to solve everything. It's really a matter of bringing it all together. And actually, that's my main message in all the things that I do with the Doctor's Guide and the other things that I'm doing. Esmee Kollenc, all the way from Austria, not Australia, so not from down under. She's from Europe, but also the global impact. as a holistic, intuitive personal trainer and health coach, also understanding at a much deeper level the differences between people, because she's been traveling the world and sees all the differences. And so you can't get away with anything because she'll call you out on it. But no, but most importantly, in the sweetest and the nicest possible way. Esmee, share anything else you'd like to share?
It helps me in a major way to relate to people throughout my own journey of burnout, journey of transformation, journey of becoming my healthiest self. And it's still a process. It's always a journey, right? So I enjoy helping people, connecting their mind, body, soul connection in a major way through personal training.
And one thing I really appreciate about you, and this is something that I know about you because I've been hanging out with you in the Unblinded community with Sean Callaghy, is that you're also what's called a masterful apprentice. And what that really means is somebody that's eager to keep on growing and learning more and more, because the truth of the matter is so many people out there, they reach this point, oh, I know, I do, and that's it. But the reality is that everybody's so different. We need to keep on growing, new technology, new answers, new solutions, and obviously new opportunities. So, Esmee, I know you got a problem. And once again, people might get triggered by this. They may think it's silly. It may be a personal problem or maybe something that she's aware of. The truth of the matter is, my hope is that you can potentially witness yourself or maybe somebody else that you care about and just follow that journey and see how Elyse will guide her, and so that you can also potentially help yourself with that kind of guidance. Esmee, you got 6 minutes.
Hi, Elyse. So I don't know how I'm gonna make this stop, but I've been in so much back pain for the past couple of years, and I'm so excited that I finally got an appointment with you. And I really don't know what to do. I'm so frustrated, and it impacts my day-to-day life. And I don't know. I've been to doctors. They couldn't tell me what it is. They said, okay, I need to work out, and I don't know exactly what I need to do. And I was thinking maybe a massage could help me, and I just don't know where to start.
All right, Esmee. So number one, congratulate yourself for just reaching outside of the box. Because usually when doctors say they don't know what's going on, there's a shutdown that happens internally. So first and foremost, give yourself that recognition and that grace. So when you said for years, how many years have you been in pain?
I think it must have been like 3 or 4 years by now.
3 or 4 years by now. And on the number scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not too bad, 10 being excruciating, where is that at?
I want to say like it depends on the day to day. It's not the same every day, and I want to say it's 7 or 8.
And
Most
when
of
you
the
say it's most of the time, it's a 7 or an 8. And when
Yeah.
it's at that 7 or an 8, is it early in the mornings, late at night? Is it more of the time when you're moving or not moving?
It's probably I don't move as much. I work a lot. I work maybe 40, 50 hours a day, and by that time I get done, I'm tired. I just want to, like read a book or maybe watch TV or something like that, and I'm just, tired.
Okay, so that actually tells me a lot with what you just said. So you're not very mobile. So that means that there's not a lot of blood flow getting to certain muscles that can connect to that spine, right? So when you say that you work those long hours, are you seated working those long hours?
Yes, I
Yes, so
am.
you're in a seated sedentary position for long durations.
I work from home.
And okay, so you work from home. So, and that's in that same stagnant seated position. Wow. All right. So, and for how many years have you worked from home?
I mean, it all happened with the shutdown, right? We started working from home, and then it was just, it never changed, and we never went back to the office.
Wow. So that had to be emotionally challenging as well, right? Changing your habits, your regimens. Okay.
Yes.
So seeing a
Also, like,
duality.
Yeah, and the whole thing about not being around coworkers anymore, the social aspect, all of that, working from the screen all the time, like, yeah,
So
it's
have you
just
ever heard of a psoas muscle?
no, what is that?
No. Yeah, and that's not a surprising answer, right? So majority of people don't know about this muscle. However, it is the number one muscle for faulty back surgeries. And what happens is it connects to our lumbar spine on the back side, right? So the lumbar is in the low back. I'm assuming that's kind of where your back pain is, kind of like all
Mm,
up and down through here. Would that be right?
yeah.
Now, when you're trying to stand up, does it take a lot of time? Does it feel like it's hard to stand? Does it feel
Um,
like leaning forward feels better, or there's not a relief
yeah,
anywhere?
yeah, leaning forward probably feels better. Yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
that definitely gives me a little bit of an idea where we're close to what we're thinking about, right? So with that sedentary positioning, that psoas connects to four on each side. Our spine is like a ladder, right? So it has things on both sides that connect. And when that connects on the back, it wraps around to the front of our body, inside of our hips. And then it wraps inside of our femur, that leg bone, right? And connects almost to the butt bone, where our hamstrings kind of attached to. And with that sedentary position, that'll almost vice grip down like an accordion crunch on your spine. And when you're living in that day after day with stress and toxins and lack of water from having to work so hard, right? You probably don't even remember the last time you peed, right?
Yeah, no, it's usually back to back to back, and I find myself not even going to the restroom until, I finish work, which is crazy if we talk about it and it's happening. So,
Yeah, so we're aiding in more dehydration. We're adding in where those discs can kind of just get more stuck together and smash down. And especially with back pain, do you ever notice anything going into your legs, feet, anything like that, like numbness, tingling, burning, anything like that ever?
yeah, when I wake up in the morning, like after like in the morning, I sometimes feel my legs tingling and like they
Okay.
fall asleep or whatnot. I don't know.
Got it. So if I give you three different exercises that you can do as soon as you wake up in the morning, do you think you'd be able to fit that into your schedule to see if we can help communicate to your body to really just kind of make things relax a little bit more? Because you're not going to be able to get out of work, right? You have to go to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
we can't
I
change that.
I was more thinking of maybe you can give me a massage or anything like that. So that would make my lower back pain go away.
Of course. So there's a few layers to this with especially with back pain and with sedentary sitting. So we can definitely get you on the table and have relief for that moment and get your spine nice and decompressed, get those tissues, communicate to your nervous system that's probably upregulated from all that screen time, communicate to where your body will receive it. And then after we would do that session, we would give you, if you're not open to three, I can give you one exercise that you can do right before you get out of that bed in the morning. Would you be open to something like that after our massage session?
I can do one.
Okay, beautiful. And that's really aiding into like some foundational muscles. I'm not looking for you to go to the gym just yet. We're just trying to get more oxygenated blood flow to those muscles so that can open up that spine and help starting decompress those tissues. Because the more that you're sitting down, the more dehydration, because you're not drinking water, you don't even know when you're peeing, and you're staring at this screen that is talking to your nervous system on an overload. Like this is what's happening all the time with your nervous system. So anytime you're trying to do anything else, your body doesn't even register. Anytime, have you ever felt kind of like overdrawn, tired, and you just can't really get up from the desk? Is that something that happens quite frequently?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You got a minute
So
left,
I'm,
Elise. Got a minute
of
left.
course, no worries. So when you're getting into this and as you're seated, would you be open to learning some breathing exercises with holding your core in that can maybe help you do that before you even come to see me for a massage? If
I
I
can do it.
taught you right now how to do it,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah? So right now, take a nice deep breath in for me. Tighten the tummy. Keep that tummy tight. Don't let go of that tummy tightness. Exhale. Keep the tummy tight. We're not relaxing the entire time on these inhales. Inhale 2. Long exhale. Keep the tummy tight. I need you to focus with me here. I know it's probably feeling weird. I know you're like shaking because this is not something that's very easy to breathe and tighten the tummy at the same time. Give me another inhale. Exhale. Now on that exhale, you can relax that tummy. You notice how your spine might have even tightened up a little bit? It'll give
Yeah,
you a little bit of relief, maybe even like a, that
definitely.
is your body. You now communicated to your body saying, I allow this change, I give it space, and you just helped get a little bit of oxygenated blood flow into those tissues. How cool is that?
Super cool.
Is that
That's
something that
awesome.
you think?
That's awesome. Awesome. We'll unpack that a little bit more. So Esmee, what was that all about for you? Give us context.
I wanted to get on that table. And I mean, I love the knowledge Elyse has and the way the way with words she has to actually break it down. And yeah, it's just every experience, every conversation that I have with her is just, I'm learning so much and I really appreciate that.
Great. Elyse, what was that for you? Give us context.
Oh, I just know, Esmee, so proud of you in so many ways. I try to make things a little bit more upbeat, right? Because when people live in pain, they're sad. And there's a lot of things that just, it's like, okay, yeah, I tried it. Okay, I tried this. So the more that I can try and help bring simplicity, relatability, and we can change things right now is always the intention, because it's like, oh, wow, if I do that, I can do that. I can make a couple changes. And if I'm kind of explaining different things that people feel, then Esmee can be like, oh wow, she does kind of know what's going on. Maybe she had somebody that had something like this before. I can trust this situation. So with that trust that's kind of being built with speaking on a feeling that have may already been felt before but not given, there's that relatability and that trust that kind of gives the security to be open, to make changes. Because a lot of people, especially people that have had pain for over a year, that have chronic pain, there's a lot of pullback because they're so tired of hearing the same thing. They're so tired of doctors saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's in your head, or take more meds, or, go to the gym. Okay, well, what do? I can't lift these weights, right? And a lot of people don't understand that we really need to strengthen our foundational muscles and our spinal muscles before we need to start throwing weights around that we have no idea what we're doing, where we could hurt ourselves.
Well, brilliantly done, both of you. And I like the presentation that Esmee had, like, no, just fix me. When the truth of the matter is it's really all about, what are you going to do yourself to be able to fix yourself? And so in a moment, I'm going to ask you, what are those 2 other exercises? Because I want those as well. And I want the listener to hear about it. But
Yeah.
here's one thing that I do know. And once again, I trained for 17 years before I became a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. And for those out there who know me, it's not just about the physical form, but it's really the transformation in all aspects of our lives. And that's why we have this podcast, so that we get to actually have the conversations that no one else is having, because everyone deserves to know what is that journey? What does that journey look like? So we can transform, and also pretty much, changing the paradigm of how we health optimize. And one of the shifts in that paradigm needs to include our structure. And so unfortunately, what happens is that, most times when you have any kind of medical issue, most people will actually forget the structural component. And here's the truth that I know about the structural component of our bodies is that, we are complex networks of interconnected self-regulating systems that are actually communicated at the speed of light, mainly through our fascia, through our nerves, through our blood vessels, through all sorts of ways. But, if the structure of our body is suboptimal, then that communication is going to be suboptimal. And the craziest thing that will happen is that whilst you think that you got a pain in your toe, there's actually a problem somewhere else in your body. And I know that because I've experienced that with, my own body worker who works with me. And it's amazing how when they work somewhere like in my neck, and then there's something entirely different somewhere else in my body. And I keep on laughing out loud because as a medical professional, we were never taught any of those things. So the kind of work that you do, Elyse, is so critically important as a body worker. And one thing I learned from a chiropractor, and I had my issues previously about chiropractors, mainly because I was ignorant of them. But the truth of the matter is that you want to find a chiropractor or a body worker like Elyse that can make an adjustment in your body once a week. Yes, once a week. You need that kind of frequency. Even if it is a massage, that's still a body adjustment. And so whether it's someone like Elyse or a chiropractor or other kinds of body workers, and of course, some of the exercises that Elyse will enlighten us in a moment, that's going to make all the difference. So, Elyse, what else would you like to add? And go ahead and add any of those extra exercises that you want to share with us.
Oh, Esmee, thank you so much for giving me the necessary information to just kind of try and help along the process, right? And so many people are plagued with back pain all day, every day. And sometimes people don't even realize that they're in pain because everything is so automatic. And you can ask someone, oh, well, where's your pain at today? And it's like, oh, well, I don't, or it's, I don't know what I did. It just hurts now, right? So with massage and with body work, allowing to communicate to the soft tissue and to the muscles allows the bones to realign on a structural basis. So Dr. Bart, thank you so much for so eloquently putting it that way, because it's so true. And chiropractic and body work does go hand in hand. We always want to have a good massage and some good releases before that chiropractic kind of gets in there and allows those bones to move, right? Because if our nervous systems are in an upregulation, hypertonitic, right, where if you're looking at screens all day, you're on your phone all day, it's causing right, or I should maybe say fight or flight. That's more of a common thing everybody knows, right? The fight or flight. So when your body's in that situation, the blood flow is going to the arms and to the legs, and it's not allowing that full circulation to our intestines and to our entire synergistic bodies. So when we're able to downregulate that nervous system, communicate to those muscles and tissues, have that relax, and then a chiropractor can remove those bones, you're talking phenomenal results and long-lasting results, right? So I would just kind of give those little inputs, but with the exercises that you're able to do, very simply, structural strengthening is key. And I just kind of say that like the very, very deep layers. We're not looking to make glamour muscles here. We're not trying to flex any biceps or anything. This, what we're speaking of, is the most important strengthening, because our spine is our control unit. It says and makes us do everything that we're going to do and feel, right? So glute bridges is one of my absolute favorites of all times. You're lying flat on the floor. Your feet are flat. Now, the closer your feet are, your heels are to your bum, the better, because now you're going to target those glutes even more. You're going to raise up, press up from those heels, focusing, pressing through the heels, through the calves, through the hamstrings, through the glutes, as you're squeezing your tummy, pressing it up, relaxing it down, not letting that booty touch the floor. We are not laxing right now. 12 of those, 3 to 4 sets. Now, if you're just beginning, 3 sets. If you really want to make a change and feel that stimuli, 4 sets. Each time, inhale, exhale, squeezing at the tummy with intention, because it's not what we do, it's how we do it, right? Second exercise is, they call them, it's like the reverse dead bug. So you're lying flat on your face. You're going to span those fingertips out with lengthening the arm and lengthening the leg like a posterior leg extension, but you're lying flat on your face. And we're using both sides of the body. If you are extending your left arm, you are then extending your right leg. because now we are aiding in neuro reprogramming, where we're actually working both sides of the brain and aiding in neuroprotective errors as well, lengthening that spine, right? So the more that you can kind of do that consistently every day, the more you're just allowing more oxygenated blood flow to go to those areas, building up nice posterior chain stimulation, because especially with all of us that had to sit for a long time, when we get blood flow to the posterior chain, you're going to reduce injury, reduce issues, and help that spine. So I hope that helps.
So 3 exercise, the breathing exercise, the glute exercise, and then what's the name of the last exercise? What did you call it?
So it's the dead bug, but it is flat down. A lot of people will do it in a tabletop position, but you want to do it flat on your face because you want to be very specific for the posterior chain muscles.
Excellent. Well, that's amazing. I'll start doing that myself right now because, I'm feeling the twinge right here. And actually, I also have my little ball, my glute ball that I sometimes lay on. But Esmee, what would you like to share? What do you want people to know?
It's so important to actually have that all of that connected, like you said, Elyse, the whole what was the name of it, the neuro
The neuro reprogramming.
programming, exactly. And I've seen you do that in action in New Orleans, and it's so critical, because even though some people come in to work out, and it's not just the muscular system, it's the nervous system that needs to be reprogrammed to actually do the exercises. So if you haven't done exercises in a long time, then it's not gonna work. It's not going to work from one day to the other. So it needs to be reprogrammed, and it needs to be reconnected to actually have the proper form, work out in a proper way. And yeah, thank you for that beautiful demonstration.
No, it was excellent, both you guys. And one thing to take away here for everybody listening is simply this, and you gave a beautiful representation of what's happening with the body when you're not moving, and basically, your muscles get dehydrated, and I forget exactly what you said, but it's like a corkscrew. So everything tightens up like a vice, and that's not good, because it affects everything else. And once, one muscle or ligament or bone or whatever is out of alignment, then it's going to affect everywhere else. And so one thing that I'm going to suggest, and we may actually have to change the format of my show, but one thing that I try to do is I got this little sand timer for 15 minutes. And basically that's my reminder to get up and move around. And because what happens, within about 20 minutes, the enzymes in your blood vessels shut down if you're not moving, and that then causes, intimal plaque buildup and all sorts of other issues that we're probably not even aware of. But what you guys just did today was absolutely amazing. I want to thank you, for that. Please, Elyse, how do people get a hold of you? And final thoughts, final words from you.
Well, Dr. Bart, thank you so much for making this podcast and to just giving a resource for individuals to really know how to make choices. Because as you said, there are so many shiny things out there that make words very familiar for people to want to lose weight, make changes, do exercises, have pain, and really knowing what to do that's good for them is so valuable. So thank you so much for that. Website is nerdbodyworks.com. And you can have access. My phone number is on there. Elysee Howard is on Facebook. Massage Nerd Integrative Health. We're on Facebook as well. And feel free to reach out. We help on a plethora of things. But always know that you're one decision away from a completely different life. And your diagnosis is not your life sentence. Every single moment you have an opportunity to take a deep breath in, breathe in healing, and to exhale toxicity and exhale anything else that you understand does not serve you. And that is power that nobody can take away. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and with that added on to that, by the way, that our lungs takes care of the elimination of about 80% of our toxins. And so if you're not breathing correctly, you're keeping those toxins in. Esmee, how do people get a hold of you, and any final thoughts?
So you can get a hold of me on my app, which is Body Bolt by E, Body Bolt XE, and the website is bodyboltxe.fitbud.com, and also on Instagram and Facebook under Body Bolt by E. And yeah, just message me, call me, reach out to me, and I'm certain that I can help you with your goals.
Great. So thank you so much. Your heart is golden in your desire to support people and the complexity of the pain, their confusion, and whatever is holding them back. You know, we always need people like you in our court, so that, you know, we can have the guidance to move forward. And I know you guys do an exceptional job. So once again, I really want to thank you. And a reminder for everyone that the structural component of your body is such an essential part to be addressed on a regular basis. And it's one of the first ones that we absolutely ignore. We kind of rely on labs or something else to tell us what's wrong, or perhaps, you know, take a medication. The truth of the matter is that, you know, drugs have a place in emergency or crisis moments, but not in a sustained fashion, because the truth is finding people like Esmee and Elyse to help you address the root cause and creating new balance within the body, then you don't need those drugs or surgeries or whatever, and you don't have to have the pain either. So I want to thank you both. My name is Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is the Doctor's Guide podcast, raw and unfiltered, bringing to you the exceptional human beings from all over the planet to help you design a better life for yourself by knowing how to navigate the complexities of the decision-making process to optimize your health. Thank you, and I will be back.